So let's see what he says. To advise management regarding promotions, we'd like to know if the promotions have a positive effect upon attendance. And we saw that with the answer to that already. And if they do have a positive effect, how much that effect might be. And we saw that it was like 10,000 and something. To provide this advice, we build a linear model for predicting attendance using month, day of the week, and an indicator variable for the bobblehead promotion. Indicator variable means usually means like a yes/no variable. Either there is a bobblehead or there isn't. We enter these explanatory variables. Remember what explanatory means. Those are the input variables in a particular order so we can answer the basic question: do bobblehead promotions increase attendance, controlling for the date of the game, the month and day of the week, in other words. Being data scientists, we employ a training and test regimen. So we saw that, the training and test regimen, to provide an honest evaluation of the model's predictive performance. So he says that the fitted models does a good job of predicting higher attendance. So he thinks that the model was pretty good. And he said we can also provide what are called indices of goodness of fit, which basically means what we saw, 45%. But more importantly, they provide predictions of attendance that we can display on the scatter plot. So we saw that scatter plot. That's the one that I myself didn't think was so useful for management, but he thinks it is. So he says the model that we generated from the training set seems to do well in the test set. And by the way, he keeps saying controlling for month and day of the week. In other words, that means that we included month and day of the week in our study, so we can say that we controlled for that. So he says we can use our predictive model for Dodgers bobblehead promotion. We can predict the attendance for each game in the next season. And we can predict this attendance with and without a bobblehead promotion. So that's what's the power of this, is that we can predict what's going to happen this year. Using predicted attendance, we can compute the Dodgers revenue with and without the promotion. So we can, once we know the attendance, we can figure out what the revenue is going to be, and then look at the difference between the two with and without the promotion. And then, of course, if we want to know whether it's profitable or not, we have to consider the costs of a bobblehead promotion. And he gives us some details about what it would be, the costs and so on. And then we're supposed to maybe think about it. He says, considering the costs, the bobblehead costs about $3 when you order a lot of them, and you give them to the first 50,000 fans, which is probably almost everybody. Then we would use cost volume profit analysis to assess the profit contribution of a bobblehead promotion to each game. In this way, Dodger management could decide whether or not to use bobbleheads in the forthcoming season, and which games most benefit from the use of bobbleheads. So that sounds good. Then he goes on to talk a little bit more about marketing. He says promotions like bobblehead promotion do more than drive up attendance. They also reinforce the name of the brand in the minds of the consumers. Advertising and promotion are the promotion part of the marketing mix, or the 4 Ps. So this is a marketing concept which we don't really study, but we can read it here. Product, price, promotion, and place. Here, product relates to the product or service. Price is simply price. The word place refers to channels of distribution. For example, face-to-face selling would be a place, wholesale would be a place, retail would be a place, brick and mortar would be a place, mail order, online, mobile. So that's what they mean by place. Advertising and promotion are thought of as distinct fields of study by marketing academics. Advertising refers to the message and the marketing communication, while promotion is what firms do in addition to the message. So advertising is the message, and then promotion is what they do in addition to that. Okay, so, and then next he talks about where you can look for extra information. So if you want to check that out, you can. And then comes the code, but some of it didn't show up very well, but you have the code. Okay, so that is it for this chapter, and we've done a lot here. And I think the next chapters, although the techniques might be a little more advanced than regression, or a little newer, I shouldn't say more advanced, but we've done the sort of hard part of the conceptual sort of framework. So, okay, let's stop here, and we will continue next week with Chapter 3.